what's going on, everyone? Hope all of you are doing well, and welcome back to a brand new video. So, in today's video, I wanted to talk about Scream Factory. I was really inspired by Christian Hannah Horror. He has Planet CHH Horror YouTube channel. Check out his channel. I will put the link down in the description below so you guys can go subscribe to him. But he did a poll asking what everyone's thoughts were on Scream Factory. And it really got me thinking about Scream Factory as of late compared to when they were starting out in those like maybe first 5 to 6 years. And I gotta say, it's been kind of interesting when it comes to these boutique labels. You know, if you look back, Arrow Video was pretty much the OG of these boutique labels, to an extent, that is. I mean, Scream Factory wasn't around, but Shout Factory was. Shout Factory's been around for a while, but they didn't start getting into their Scream Factory label until what, like 2012 or so, 2011, somewhere around that time. And you know, Arrow Video was starting out 2007, 2008, you know, it was strictly UK. Then as time went on, they would progress to the States and have been doing really well. Now you've got these other companies, you know, Blue Underground's been around for a while. And you know, you have like Vinegar Syndrome, you've got Synapse, 88 Films, whether they're UK based or US based or have both. You have a lot of these boutique companies that are, you know, releasing a lot of great films. You know, whether it's a horror film, a sci-fi classic, you know, they're releasing stuff that a lot of us never to this day would get a Blu-ray release, you know, let alone a DVD release. Some are even skipping the DVD release and going to Blu-ray or even 4K. So it's really cool to see how things have progressed and probably over the past 10 years, maybe even 15 or so, maybe around like since 2008 or so. You know, when Blu-rays were starting to become this big thing. But I've kind of noticed a decline with Scream Factory and Arrow Video as of late, maybe in the past couple of years. And the reason is due to the lack of their releases. You know, some of the titles they're releasing, they've already re-released, or they just, the films they are announcing are not really films people care about. I mean, they've released, and a great example of this is that we got a 4K Arrow Video release of The Wolf of Wall Street. Like, just thinking about that, there's an Arrow Video release of The Wolf of Wall Street. You know, and of course the film is available on Blu-ray and 4K, but it's just one of those titles like, why do we need a film like that, which the studio that owns the rights could have just released their own release, and they did. But why do we need an Arrow Video release? There are so many other films out there that they could have done. Hell, they could have redone some cult classics from the 80s, like they did Revenge of the Nerds, like back in the day, and Porky's, but yet we haven't had re-releases of those. You know, they could have gotten the rights again and then gave us, you know, releases. Scream Factory, you know, now they're starting, you know, when they started out great. Then they started re-releasing some of their bigger titles on Steelbook. And, you know, the Steelbook's great, but not everybody wants the Steelbook. And then now they're re-releasing it on 4K. Hell, there's movies coming out last year getting re-released this year on 4K. And as great as that can be, it's pointless. I mean, don't get me wrong. For anybody who missed out on getting any of the other titles, getting the 4K I think is the best step. For me personally, it's the best way. If you want to upgrade, that is completely fine too. That's what I've been trying to do with some titles. But at the same time, it's like, this is something they could have done to begin with, rather than re-releasing them. Or they could have done like, hey, we're doing this really good deal where you get the Blu-ray and the 4K, you know, whatever it may be. But they're also getting expensive. And this is why I like Vestron. Vestron has been putting the effort in to make their new releases affordable. They're starting to show up at Walmart. They're ranging from $10 to $13. And, when you got Scream Factory, who's selling their stuff for 30, 17, 15, 25, Arrow, all these big companies, it's like, who wants to pay that? Like really, who wants to pay that? You can purchase 2 Vestron video releases and it would come out as the same price for one Scream Factory release. And then if the prices drop down to $10, then you can end up buying 3 Vestron releases for the price of one Scream Factory title. So I feel like a lot of these companies really need to start dropping the prices down to really get fans into their product. I truly feel like if Scream Factory, Arrow, and all of them were dropping their prices to the $12, $13, maybe even $15, maybe even $20 mark, you would be surprised on how many more sales they would get, because people would buy them at an affordable price. I know I would. If I was able to get 2 Arrow video releases for $10, I'd snag it in a heartbeat. And I feel like that is becoming a major issue with a lot of people. The constant re-releases and the pricing. And not only that, it seems also like Arrow and Scream Factory are just releasing the same movies. And, a great example of this would be Candyman. We got an Arrow video release and we ended up getting a Scream Factory release. Then we got a re-release in 4K for Candyman. Now, Arrow, I will say, when they make their announcements, they're doing both Blu-ray and 4K. Scream Factory has yet to do this. Why they haven't is just beyond me. But Scream Factory is really getting bad with... Excuse me. They are getting bad with just re-releasing everything. I mean, we got Army of Darkness hitting 4K now, Return of the Living Dead, And again, like me, I have Army of Darkness on Blu-ray. I'm not going to upgrade regardless. I mean, it still looks great in my 4K player anyway. But, I don't have Return of the Living Dead on Blu-ray. So, yes, I would get the Scream Factory. Maybe double dipping to an extent is great, but not everybody wants to do it. Especially when it comes to the prices, that over time, that becomes expensive. And I feel like a lot of, looking at everybody's opinion, you got those who think their pricing way too high. We have those who are, are double dipping and things like that, and realizing that, they're better off either just staying with the 4K or they're staying with the Blu-ray. It's kind of one of those things, and it makes you think, why Scream Factory is going this route when they could be adding more films to their library. Shot Select is a great example. Now, the Shot Select titles that they have are great, and they have been releasing some newer ones not strictly, but straight to 4K and some Blu-ray, but they're also re-releasing stuff too. And then a great example of this would be Red Dawn, I believe. Red Dawn, of course, has a Blu-ray and a 4K. And it's just those type of situations where it's like, I get you want to, have enough for everybody. You want people to buy the Blu-ray or people buy the 4K. But, then there's not enough out there. People are having a hard time finding certain titles. We get that they go out of print. And we get, they're very limited. But at times, those common titles where they have more, people just seem like they're running out of... What's the term I'm looking for? Quantity out of quality, I believe is the term I'm looking for. Basically, the point is that, there are people who realize that they're not putting enough out, that they're going out of print quick because people are buying multiple copies, and they're not, the demand's not enough. Not only that, and then you also have the issues where Scream Factory has literally had to do replacement discs for a lot of their titles. And not only that, they had one Blu-ray where they had a misprint on the artwork. So a lot of fans out there, you know, have mixed feelings moving forward with the past couple of years and the past few releases they've had and things like that. So it's really like, what is going on? Why is everything seeming to go backwards than forward? I mean, again, when they started out, they were doing so great. Now, don't get me wrong. I think them releasing some of their titles on 4K is a great way to get titles that are out of print. So, like, when they decide to announce Return of the Living Dead 2 on 4K and the second and third Sleepaway Camp films, this will be a great opportunity for those who missed out on the Blu-ray to get the 4Ks. So there's always those positives when it comes to those. But, you know, excuse me, I just feel like there's so many films out there that they could get rights for and give us releases. Like for the Shot Select line, I think having the Revenge of the Nerds collection or Porky's collection be available. You know, Porky's 2 and Porky's 3 is on a double feature Kino Lorber release, but I would love for us to get a full trilogy released by Shout Factory. Even, like I said, Revenge of the Nerds would be great to have a Shout Factory box set. I think those would be perfect. You know, a Scream Factory title that I feel like could really be cool to have in the collection is Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde. It's a very underrated film. It's not a film everybody knows about, but it's definitely one I can see Scream Factory releasing. Hell, even Arrow Video could release it. But, you know, when there's so much potential, you know, another Shot Select title they can release for us is Rover Dangerfield, that Rodney Dangerfield animated movie. We can get a really cool anniversary Shot Select title from that. There's Michael Keaton films that could use a Shot Select. One Good Cop is another one. Why haven't we gotten some cool edition of that, you know? Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. Shot Select would be perfect for that, you know? There's just so many. I mean, hell, they released Ferngully, like an anniversary release for Ferngully. So why not give us a, why not give us like a Little Giants or what's that other animated? Troll in Central Park. There are so many animated movies and kids movies that we could get Shot Select titles. But yet, here we are getting the same film that may have been released last year on Blu-ray getting a 4K release this year. It sucks. To me, you're going to have the mixed opinions. I just want to see new titles. I want to see something that I would never thought would see the light of day and move forward from that. You know, get the rights, release it on Blu-ray and 4K. Give people that option. You know, yes, the 4Ks come with a Blu-ray, but, you know, not everybody's going to want to pay more for the 4K release. So I just feel like they really need to consider some things when it comes to the releases and just try to move forward, because as of late, I just feel like they're starting to slide back while, you know, these other companies are doing well. Arrow Video is the same way. I feel like Arrow Video is doing, you know, what they have is just, I don't know. It's just, I feel like what they're releasing is the same as Scream Factory. Nothing that catches people's interest. And it seems like they're going backwards when you have all these other companies that are doing way, way better than them. Hell, the Tremors films. How come we haven't like had a collector's edition release for at least Tremors 2 and Tremors 3? Hell, just give us a full box set. Yes, we have a box set of the Blu-rays. It's the Attack Pack, and then there's the 7 film collection. No, I want like a set that is similar to the Friday the 13th, the Halloween. Give us Tremors. Give us the Hellraiser films. You know, there's so many films out there that need this. You need that special treatment, like the Halloween and the Friday the 13th box sets from Scream Factory. Give us Candyman. Give us, you know, The Child's Play. Give us whatever series out there. I feel like we need more franchises. And, you know, the Tremors, those type of films are great. Even if you decided not to and just wanted to do parts 2 and 3, do parts 2 and 3. Hell, get the rights for part 1. You know, it just, I don't know. I just feel like, they're really moving backwards than forward. And, I just figured I'd give you guys my opinion on it. I want everybody to succeed, but I also want titles that are worth getting. As of late, they just seem like, they just seem like they don't care anymore. I know they care, but it's just, they're just getting really bad with it. I mean, they could do a deal with Wells for, what is it, Wellgo USA? That company that released the Phantasm films. I don't know why they couldn't work a deal out with them and give everybody a collector's edition of parts 1 and, 3 through 5. I mean, we ended up getting part 2, and you can get the box sets out there, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever it is, but, I think Scream Factory really needs to complete some franchises, get the rights for them. We all know what's going on with the Nightmare on Elm Street rights there, but yeah, I don't want to make this video too long for you guys, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys my opinion on how I'm feeling about the whole the things that are going on with the boutique label, and kind of do a response to Planet CHH Horror, his poll that he did yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. So, like I said, I just want to do a kind of a video response on it, giving my personal thoughts on it. And hopefully moving forward, we'll see great films get released. And, maybe we'll see some out-of-print titles get that 4K release, like Return of the Living Dead 2. No. Is it Return of the Living Dead 2? Or, you know what? It might be. I believe it's Return of the Living Dead 2. And not only that, but what's the YouTuber's name? Born to be Rad, I believe, is his name. His YouTube name. He's always doing videos with what's their names? Dead Pit Radio. I believe he had. When I was like watching one of their videos, I think I was watching like them doing like the first few years history on Scream Factory, and he Born to be Rad, I believe, was talking about how all these people who bought these Blu-rays who are trying to flip them to get the 4Ks, it's having the 4K release is now dropping the value of the Blu-ray. The Child's Play Blu-ray is a great example of this. That slipcover went out of print. Both went out of print, and a lot of times before the 4K release came out, you could always see that it was going for 30 to 40, maybe $50, the Blu-ray and the slipcover. But then fast forward, and now you're looking at 10 to 20 bucks just for that Blu-ray pre-owned, which just amazes me how bad the values of these movies can go down when a 4K release comes. It's the same with box sets. When they decide to when they announce that they're doing a complete trilogy 4K release of the Sleepaway Camps movies, you're going to see how low those part 2 and 3 Blu-rays go down. They're like 100 to 200. Yeah, at least from what I've seen, they're going to probably end up going down to like 30 or 20, maybe 50 at the most. So you're going to see a huge decrease in value when they start announcing a lot of these. Now, maybe getting a 4K release of, Motel Hell wouldn't be bad, because I love that movie and I would definitely pay to get that in 4K. Like I said in this video, it's kind of a hit or miss. It helps out those who missed out. When it comes to out-of-print titles, it'll be great, but as of late, I just feel like they're just releasing movies that either people don't care about, or they're just re-releasing titles that everyone has. But like I said, there's just pros and cons to it. But again, I don't want to make this video too long, so let me know down in the comment section below what your thoughts are. I mean, what do you guys feel about, as of late with Scream Factory, Arrow, and who do you feel like is really winning the battle of the boutique labels, as I like to call it? And don't forget to subscribe. Definitely subscribe to the channel. So until then, guys, take care, and I will see you soon. Peace.